3, 2, 1. Wow. Oh my God, that's cold. Welcome back to You Betcha Radio Podcast, the coldest podcast in all the Midwest. I am Miles, the You Betcha guy, here with Ryan, the T-shirt guy. We got a great show ahead of you. Ryan's getting married this week. So let's just get into the show.
I would venture to say it's almost the nectar of the gods. Back, baby, back. I want my push. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 32 of the You Betcha Radio Podcast. I think we had talked earlier that we'll name this one the Wedding Week Podcast.
Wedding Week Podcast.
Because
feels good to be back in the studio, by the way.
It does. It does. And even taking obviously we did the bar takeover last week, but even that 1 week layoff of being in the podcast studio, it's kind of weird. Feels like it's been months.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been a while, but we're back and we're ready to rock.
Yes, sir. Guys, before I forget, go check us out on social media at OUBetcha, and that's at OHH You Betcha. Unfortunately, we do not have any merch for sale at this point, but we're working on a new release here in September, so stay tuned for that.
I think y'all are really going to like it.
Yeah,
I
would
think
agree.
it's going to be our biggest launch in terms of different products, different garments. Garments. So yeah, I think you guys are really gonna like it.
So this is like our first fall of selling merchandise. And I feel like fall is such a good time to break out the crew necks or the hooded sweatshirts. It's hoodie season.
Ryan, don't give them too much here.
No, I'm just saying like typical, typical fall fashion.
Let's just tease them a little bit.
Sure.
You don't need to give them the full foreplay.
But we had nothing for sale last fall.
Yeah, we didn't start selling merch until November of last year.
Yep. So it's going to be fun. The first fall release coming in September. So stay tuned for that.
Speaking of that, Ryan.
Yes, Miles.
U Motors, Motorsports and Marine, located in Fargo, North Dakota and Pelican Lake, Minnesota. You guys need to check them out. They have all of the best brands: Honda, Yamaha, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, Natique boats, Super boats, Supreme boats.
All the boats. And Avalon pontoons, especially as the lake season starts to wind down. I'm sure that they have great deals for you to buy a boat for next season. Yep.
Or maybe spend a little time of what we have left of the summer out on the lake. But they also have a lot of other toys and fun stuff as well. So you got to check them out at umotorsinc.com or on all their social medias, Facebook, Instagram. What's really funny about the U Motors guys is they are You Betcha guys through and through.
Yes.
I saw him at a lake bar, one of the manager this weekend.
Yep.
Drinking Busch Light.
Of course.
Through and through.
Of course.
So that if all of the stuff beforehand isn't enough to go check them out, that is another reason is they're Busch Latte drinkers. And they're also just great dudes and gals to hang out with. They're going to give you great service. And if you mention this ad, you get 20% off parts and accessories.
Yeah, I wonder if they could maybe hook us up with our own private yacht for the trip back to the Ozarks next year if it happens.
Yeah, we'll work on it, Ryan.
Okay.
I don't know if that's...
Maybe next time you're
see.
at the lake bar.
Yeah, next time at the lake bar, I'll mention a yacht to him, see what's up.
Well, it's a boat now.
Yeah.
It's a boat to us.
But whatever. So, speaking of Missouri, Ryan, we're 1 week removed from the bar takeover in Fenton.
Yeah.
Again, thank you to David and everyone at Fenton Bar and Grill.
The F-Bag.
The F-Bag. It was awesome. We had a lot of people show up. A lot of people wearing merch. A lot of people bought merch. Our boy Travis Moore,
Yes.
the brewing director of North America at Anheuser-Busch, showed up. Always a pleasure for him to show up.
Yeah,
And
he brought
then-
some buddies here. He brought some coworkers with too.
Yep. They were, I met a lot of those guys when I was doing the tour of the St. Louis brewery. So that was great for them to show up.
Did you recognize a few faces from when you went to the brewery, like the guys that he brought with?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
I
I was
wasn't on
kinda
that trip,
getting
so
at, yeah. It was cool to see all those people again, guys and gals. Yeah, it just shows that the Anheuser-Busch brand really cares about what they do.
Yeah.
The fact that they took time out of their day to go to like a rinky-dink event at a bar and they had to drive for it, you know?
It was an interesting location. It was kind of in like an industrial office park with just, let's just say a small town bar.
Yeah.
In the middle of all that mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And the whole podcast, it was a shorter podcast last week because we had all sorts of technical difficulties. The camera was overheating.
I was gonna say, what happened, Miles?
The audio got messed up, and so luckily we got the meat and potatoes of that podcast recorded and up and to the listeners. So we apologize for that, but we'll learn from it. I promise that nothing will get cut off in this one.
Do you think you'll be taking a little hiatus from the St. Louis area for a while, or will you be down again in the next month or two?
I don't know. Anything could happen. But
3 trips in like 3 months.
Yeah. Well, what's nice about finally finishing the summer bar takeover tour is that we got to get a little bit of time to decompress and kind of figure out what we're going to do next.
Right.
I know that we got to start planning You Betcha Palooza 2.
Yep.
I know.
You were kind of up in the air about that.
Yeah.
We're talking like
you
March.
You knew I was going to say yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to be a little more professional about it this round. We're going to hire some people to help us. So thank God.
Hopefully we're not running the cornhole tournament ourselves.
Because that was a mess. The You Betcha Palooza 1, the successful failure.
Yes.
And then, Ryan, which was announced on Facebook on Friday.
Saw that.
We are going to have a You Betcha tailgate party at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City for the Iowa Hawkeye versus Penn State game.
Wow.
On October 12th.
That
is going to be awesome.
Electric.
It's already so many people that have responded to that. So I'm hoping this thing just turns into a rowdy crowd, a rowdy experience. Just everyone hanging out, drinking Busch lattes, getting ready for a Hawkeye game. Stay tuned on stuff on the Friday before as well. I think that we might end up at a bar in Iowa City somewhere, not doing like a full takeover, but kind of maybe do a live little podcast or something, which Ryan will not be there because he has other commitments before this whole thing came up. So we got to figure out who should be the other co-host for that. The guest co-host.
Iowa City.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure that out. Yeah. But be looking for October 11th and 12th in Iowa City. I think it's going to be a really great time.
So do you know exactly like where you'll be in the parking lot? So you've been there before.
Yeah, so not 100% yet, but I believe we're going to be north of the stadium.
Okay.
So that means nothing to you, Ryan, because I don't think you've ever been there before.
I haven't.
Yeah, so we're going to be north of the stadium, I believe. Not 100% nailed down yet because we still got time.
Yeah.
But 7G Distribution, the distributor in Iowa City, is going to be helping us out. That's their tailgating spots. I know that they have a lot of stuff planned for fun stuff that we're going to do. And so thanks to them, and we're excited to be working with them. The distributors for Anheuser-Busch are like, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's always... I've never had any issues working with a distributor, and it's always, what do you need? Awesome, we'll get that done for you. Hey, we can't do that, but maybe let's try something else. Yep. It's always a positive experience, so I think that a little bit speaks to the AB brand. But yeah, so I'm excited for that.
And you met 7G distributor last year, didn't you?
Yeah, it was very brief.
Okay.
But we did talk to them, and they're like, "Hey, let us know when you're coming back." And almost a year later, we're back, baby.
Which is wild because June, July, August, September. I mean, what was that, like 4 months? What month last year did you go down to Kinnick?
I think it was maybe in November.
So like 5 months into the page.
Yeah, we only had a few videos that hit. Wow. So pretty cool to
be back, bigger and better.
Yeah, I got to maybe check what our following is on Facebook, but We just hit 100 million views on Facebook.
Whoa. What did you say? What did you say your goal was for? I think it was for year 2.
I think it was 100 million.
And I
it's
kind of looked
2
at
months
you.
in.
I kind of looked at you, and I was like, 100 million? Like,
Yeah, you were like a little
Dude.
nervous about that.
not nervous, just like I'm just trying to be like the realist in the situation. Like,
Well, so I guess we haven't hit that goal yet,
but
we're
how many
70% of the way there because
Yeah,
we had
and-
30 million views coming into second year.
yeah, in 2 months.
Yeah, we have almost 330,000 followers on Facebook.
Wow.
Just hit 50,000 followers on Instagram. YouTube has suddenly hit. So if you haven't followed us on YouTube, go check us out on there. It's all of the same content. It's got a little bit different format on it. And it's always interesting reading the comments because it's just a different crowd.
Yes.
But yeah, we've been growing basically on every platform. We hit 10,000 followers on Twitter, and so these last couple months have been crazy. And so to come back to Kinnick, to come back to Iowa City with probably 10x the amount of followers on everything, I think is going to be a really awesome time. And it's a lot of people were mad about the not going to Ames, Iowa, for Iowa State. Just calm down. We're not. I'm not saying this, but we're gonna make the rounds at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be this year, but at some point, we're gonna be making the rounds, Ryan. And that's all I'll say about that.
That's a tough segment to transition from because it's like it's you just want to like soak it all in.
Yeah.
The fact that the page is in this position
100
right now.
million views in 14 months. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Also, you know what else is crazy, Ryan, as we segue here? You're getting married in like how many days? So today's Monday.
Thursday, Friday. Like 4 full days.
Yeah,
like 5 days.
5 days. You're getting married.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually like I've had a really hard time like focusing at my day job.
You're not that in love, Ryan.
It's just like
Googly eyes.
think about this though. A wedding is just like, well, why do you plan such a big party for a wedding? Like, when did that start? Like outside of family?
I don't know when it started, but it also like I think that like people just like getting together for big parties, and like everyone who gets married can have one. Like,
Yep.
I mean, there's like the women are like, the best days of my life are graduating from high school and getting married and then having your first kid. It's like just kind of those monumental things. So if that's like one of the best / happiest days of your life, it makes sense that you're going to throw a big party.
Yeah, absolutely. Meg made a good point this morning. She said, you spend, usually like around a year, 8 months, 2 years planning this big party with family and friends. You freaking just live it up for like one full day, and then
done.
everyone forgets about it after that.
Everyone's going to be so over you two by the time the wedding's done. But so we're going to talk some more wedding stuff after the first break here. We'll talk a little bit more about your wedding coming up.
Yep.
And then we're also going to talk about some of the stuff we just really do not like about weddings. Oh my God, that's cold.
Wow, Miles, you finished that first beer really quick.
Yeah, I spilt over the break. So shed a tear for my spilt Busch Latte. So Ryan, getting married this week. I know you talked about that. It's crazy. You build up a whole year to plan it. It's over in a day. You and her have been dating for a while, though.
Long time.
Long time. What, 10 years?
It'll be 10 years in October.
So you guys are high school sweethearts.
Yep.
You're literally a walking, breathing country song.
Yep.
Like actually, though.
Yeah. A Luke Combs country song.
Luke Combs. My question to you, as a guy who's never been engaged, by choice,
what about-
relax, never been engaged. What's it like? I mean, I just imagine it's not that much different.
The only thing that's different is like one of your main focuses for, let's just say, like the last 6 months of the engagement is like wedding planning. So that's really the only thing different, like in our lifestyles that we have to take care of.
For full transparency, has there been any fights about wedding planning?
There's been a few here and there. Guess what it has mainly stemmed around. And I feel like a lot of people have this issue too.
It stemmed around how many people were going to be at the wedding?
Yes.
That was a complete guess.
Yes,
that
you
was
nailed
literally
it.
a complete guess.
The guest list.
Because who wanted more?
I think I probably did. Just because I want to like invite all my buddies, like,
You don't have that many buddies, Ryan.
but like from all phases of life, like, I'm inviting most of my high school buddies, my college buddies. Like, there's a lot I played baseball with that I could have invited. They might have not wanted to travel from state to state. A lot of them are from out of state.
Yep.
I could have invited all those guys. I don't know. I'm fine with where it's at. It ended up great. It's
Really,
gonna be
Ryan? Because it doesn't sound like it's fine.
no, it's gonna be a great day. But if you start doing that, if you start just inviting everybody, then you're gonna have
Right.
500-600 people
Do
there.
you know how many people?
There'll be like 300 people.
That seems about standard for
Yeah.
a wedding, right?
Yep, and it's an outdoor wedding. It's at the lake
Because
cabin.
I feel like if I get married, I could invite 400 people, but you just can't. You know, like it just gets ridiculously huge.
well, that and you have to pay for everyone's food.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
I have friends.
What was the other stuff you fought about?
That was pretty much it. Everything else I was super on board with. You know, the man in the engagement is kind of just there for like moral support, trying to de-stress the woman.
A lot of massages, Ryan.
A lot of back massages. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So the guest list was.
What do you need me to do, sweetie? You pretty good at that phrase now? Or
Oh
what?
yeah. Oh yeah. Hey babe, what can I do for you tonight?
Yeah. What do you need to decompress?
I just need a hot
rag on my neck.
bath with some bath salts.
Yeah.
Some lavender bath salts.
You bought some lavender bath salts, huh?
I have not. No. More of a bath bomb guy myself.
What is some advice you would give someone that's engaged out there as they plan their wedding? For a guy.
From the male perspective.
From the male perspective. Is it that you draw her a lavender bath?
That's part of it. I think the biggest thing is just being there for the moral support. And at that time, in planning the whole party, you kind of just become an agreeer.
Ooh.
Now, obviously, like I had my opinions on some stuff, and
Did you have to sit down beforehand and be like, all right, this is the stuff I would really love to see. Can we just work those in and then she did the rest or what?
pretty much. And there wasn't a lot of stuff that I had like put my foot out for.
Well, and I feel like you are marrying this woman, so obviously you guys have a lot in common.
Yes.
So it's not like she's going to necessarily plan something or do something that's like, oh my God, I can't believe you decided to do that.
Yeah. 5 years ago, I could have told you like what kind of wedding she wanted.
Oh, she had a Pinterest board, the whole thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I just just based off of like her style of things and how she, you know, we've been to weddings in the past and she's like, well, I think I'd do that different. I don't know if I'd do that. Stuff like that. So I kind of had it like everything narrowed down by the time it came to start planning. So biggest piece of advice, just ask if there's anything that you can do. If there's not, then there's not. There's literally not. But you know, you can be like, hey, you're doing such a great job. Like this is gonna be such a good day. Just be like,
You're going to look so hot
you're
on
gonna
your
look so
wedding.
hot at that first look.
You're going to look so hot. Just
So-
keep telling her she's going to look hot.
Oh yeah. She's
Have you
getting
seen the dress? I don't know
No.
if that's a thing or not.
no. I'm pretty sure that's like a universal tradition.
You don't see the dress.
No, in America anyway. I'm not sure how other countries do weddings.
What color suit you going to wear? Or tux, I should say.
Charcoal.
Ooh, a little gray
Yep.
action. Darker gray.
Darker gray. Groomsmen will be light gray.
Oh, so you're a little bit darker?
Yep, and like the color of their tux is like the color of my tie, and the color of my tux is the color of their tie. So it's
Ooh.
kind of like
A little flip-flop?
yeah. Now the one thing that she absolutely would not have went for was the camel vest, the camo tie.
Yeah, that's. I gotta find a special bride for that. I think.
Yeah, not that I ever would have went that route. And I would screw around with her, be like, hey, do you mind if we do like white tuxes?
So are you thinking?
She's like, absolutely not. We're doing
So
white tuxes.
do you think we should go white camo or regular camo?
Are we thinking like Max 4 camo or like real tree?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would have never flied.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Well, I'm gonna be there, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very intoxicated at your wedding.
I believe it.
Yeah. Luckily, I went to the bachelor party, so obviously, like the whole wedding party, I already
Yep.
equating with. I think it's going to be a really good time.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you too much credit, but I think it will be a good time. Be at the lake. So you're not taking one of my lake weekends away, so that's nice.
Hey, that's the whole point of it. And it's the last weekend of summer, as we discussed on a couple podcasts ago.
Yeah. So, but I imagine there's going to be some stuff that is not so sweet that happens, Ryan. So, guys, we are going to discuss our top 3 things the top 3 worst things about going to a wedding. So this will be not your wedding for you.
Yeah, just a wedding in general.
Wedding in general, going to a wedding, the worst thing about going to a wedding. I want you to start it off, Ryan. Hopefully none of ours overlapped.
Sure. So my third least favorite thing when going to a wedding is when things at the church or the ceremony are all said and done. The bride and groom usually go like to the door, to the exit to greet people as they walk out.
Yep.
When their parents get in line and greet people also on the way out.
So you have to greet about 100 people.
But like usually you go to a wedding for one person, like one side, the bride or the groom. So if I'm going for the groom, he's my buddy. I know his wife a little bit. I'm not going to know her parents. Like, you want me to shake their hand and say, hey, thanks for having me. Never met you before.
Yeah.
Never will meet you again.
Yep.
So when the parents hop in line, it gets a little bit weird when it comes to that.
Especially if you don't know them that well.
I'm also notorious for like
you'll skip the line.
Ducking the line.
Okay, Ryan, the duck in the line guy over here.
So they're so preoccupied greeting like someone at all times. You just scoot out the side.
Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom quick.
Yeah,
gone.
Yep.
So I like that because I would agree. Now it's not on my list.
Okay, good.
Number one, or the third one on my list, is a little bit about ducking out.
Okay.
Let's say it's someone that you don't know that well.
Mm-hmm.
The third worst part about going to a wedding is figuring out when to leave.
Okay.
So like yours, I'm going to shut the place down, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to be drinking all night, go to my hotel room, pass out, the whole thing, right?
Yep.
But let's say you don't know them that well. Let's say you don't necessarily, you got invited, but you're not like hanging with them all the time. When do you leave is really the question. And then do you say goodbye?
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
So I think that's a tough part.
Yeah.
I think that kind of sucks because then you're like, oh God, but if I leave right now, it makes me kind of look bad. But I kind of like want to catch the game. And
yeah.
So
I think it depends on what kind of mood you're in, like as far as drinking wise. Like if you're throwing beers back and like you might step out on the dance floor for a little bit, that could suck you right in.
Yeah.
If you step on the dance floor, you might not leave.
It depends on the mode or the mood of the party is kind of what you're saying.
Yes.
I would agree with that. But just the like anxiety of like, I don't want to look like an a-hole, but I also like I'm ready to leave. Mm-hmm. It's a tough spot. I'd say that's number 3 on my list.
I like that. Yeah, the biggest part of that is like, do you say goodbye or not? Because like, if they're out on the dance floor having fun, like dancing it out, and for you to like go out there, stop them, and be like, "Hey, we're taking off." I just think that's kind of just like a mood breaker.
Yeah. So
even if they're not going to remember you.
So you're
ducking
voting
out.
For don't telling them, just ducking out,
ghosting them.
You are also Ryan, the duck out guy. All right, Ryan, what's your number 2?
Long maid of honor speeches.
Why just maid of honor speeches?
Because
here we go.
It's the typical. So for those of you who don't know, I'm blah blah blah, and I've known.
But why not groomsmen? Why not? Best man?
because there's not the cliche attention catcher.
So you want to know what I hate about maid of honor speeches?
What?
When they go like, or like that one time you like spilled rosé everywhere. You remember? Oh my God. And they laugh and they do like an inside joke thing in front of the whole thing and don't explain it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
They like do like, oh yeah, you remember that? And they're like both laughing. And we're like, huh.
Right.
Inside joke, love to be a part of one someday. You know, like, and I feel like that just happens way more with the maid of honor than the best man. I don't know.
Right. And to piggyback off that, I feel like maid of honors just like want to tell a bunch of stories, right? And no one in the audience can really resonate with that.
But the reason why the best man speech always tends to be just a little bit better is because they just roast the groom.
Yes.
And it's always fun to listen to jokes about the groom.
Right. And everyone can laugh about that, whether they know the situation or not.
Yeah.
So that would be, I don't hate speeches. I actually enjoy them, but if they're written right, written the right way,
written correctly, yes,
written correctly, and they don't just draw out with stories from college and
I also feel like, now what do you think? Is the speech a little bit better when the maid of honor is a sister or a friend?
I think it's better when it's a sister.
I would agree with you.
Yep.
Because they actually kind of make fun of them a little more than what the friend would, I would think.
And the friend would tend to tell more stories about the sister versus, or about the...
When like that one time when we spilled rosé. Oh my God, your face. Oh my God, your face.
Like...
It went everywhere.
And then you're just sitting in the crowd like...
Yeah. Where instead it's like the sister's like, hey, remember when you used to wet the bed till you were like 15?
Yeah, people love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. Except for the bride.
Except for the bride.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
so
Miles, what's your second least favorite?
Second, it's very on brand with the You Betcha brand. This my second to least favorite.
Second least favorite.
My second least favorite thing about weddings is when the open bar ends.
Ooh.
And you can always tell when the open bar is about to close out, because you know the room gets a little uneasy.
Yep.
You kind of see people like you can't see this, but they get their eyes get really wide and they point to their friend like, "Hey, come on, it's almost closed. We got to get a couple more drinks while we still can."
Yep.
And then the line gets really long. And the worst part is being like one or two people away from the open bar ending, because they have to shut it off somewhere. I've been there.
Yep.
I've literally been there where I've had a person in front of me gets the last open bar drink.
They get served last.
And it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I now have to spend $4.
And you probably forgot your wallet because you were like, I'm getting in.
Yeah, it's all free. And I'm also the guy too, where if it's an open bar all night, I'll just drop a 20 in the tip jar and then not tip the rest of the night because I don't want to deal with it. Does that make sense?
Will you kind of make sure like they see it, like they see it's a 20? And you know what I mean?
Well, you just maybe got to do because you don't want to be like, this guy hasn't tipped all night, or he tipped once.
Right.
So maybe you do like you hold up the 20 and be like, so like, where's the tip jar? Even though it's like right in front of your face, and they're like, right here. Oh, okay.
There you go. And then they remember you.
Yeah. And it's not about like being like the guy who tips well or anything. It's like, this is their job. Right. So I would be annoyed if someone wasn't paying me the correct amount for my job.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you know what I mean though? It's like, it's way easier just to tip a bigger amount one time for the whole night than worry about throwing $1 in every time you go out for a drink.
Wow, Miles, I really like that. Because I'm the dollar guy.
You never thought about that,
no,
did you?
I usually throw a buck in for each drink. And it happens all night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because then you don't have to get change or anything like that. It's just toss her in and have a good weekend.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. So you're really nice when you're in wedding mode.
It just happens to be a good week. It'll be a good week. So my least favorite wedding thing that happens is the cliche chicken dance or the dollar dance.
What
or
about the limbo?
Not the limbo
They don't
either.
do the limbo anymore.
I
don't
hope
think.
not.
Yeah.
But
You don't like the dollar dance.
so
That could get you like an extra like $500, Ryan.
I know, but it's just like people are they're coming, they're giving cards, they're giving gifts. Like we don't need an extra $500 from the people that are there. We want them there because like we want to have a good time with them. So, and also at the same time, it's just weird. It's
Is the dollar dance dying?
I think so. I actually haven't seen a dollar dance for a couple of years.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think like the weddings that I've been to with a little bit older couple, maybe like their mid 30s or so.
Yeah.
You see a dollar dance, but
feel like
anyone in their mid 20s,
No, it's not going to happen.
no.
I feel like 10 years ago it happened at every wedding.
Oh yeah, because I remember being like a kid and being like, "Oh my god, I have to dance with the bride."
Yeah.
this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
When you're,
or you
eight.
like what's the dance where you get in line? You get in like the choo-choo train line.
The conga or something, or the conga line.
I don't remember what that's called, but I also just don't like that.
Yeah. I'm
So-
not necessarily a big group dance guy unless it is the electric slide.
Okay, I can get down to that.
That's like the like I hate the cha-cha slide,
Sure.
but the electric slide requires you to just dance. Whereas the cha-cha slide tells you what to do,
Yep.
and it's like lame. But you actually have to know the electric slide in order to do the electric slide.
Which is more intense than the cha-cha slide.
Right.
I did the electric slide for an internship. Like, so I was interning. I was getting to this story. I was just about to get to the bit.
Hey, Teach. Yeah, I think for my internship this year, I'm just going to do the electric slide.
So-
how's that sound?
So where I was going with that is I interned for the professional baseball team in town here.
Semi-professional, whatever, right?
It's pro ball.
Yeah, but it's not like the
bigs.
Yeah, it's not
No.
the big leagues, but
And I was part of like the promo team. So we would do the electric slide, the cha-cha slide, the chicken dance, all that kind of stuff. Probably like 4 to 5 times a week.
so do you get pretty good at it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'll get down to it.
Can you maybe like give me a little bit of a preview of what it looks like since you are a professional?
Well, if you pull the electric slide up, I would do
Because
it.
I'm pretty good at the electric slide. So,
All right, Miles, we might just have to play that on Saturday.
well, yeah. Is a request? Can I request?
No, because it's a live band.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. No,
Yep.
I don't need the electric slide if it's a live band.
Yeah, live bands are.
Only if it's a DJ. But yeah, that's I can't believe your internship was
I
being
interned.
doing the
I
electric
did the
slide.
electric slide for an internship. Isn't that
Not
crazy?
a lot of people can say that, Ryan.
No, that's how I got hired here.
God, that guy can electric slide really nice. I bet that would translate well into printing shirts. Oh, and he can maybe talk on a podcast. Hey, Ryan, my name's Miles. You need a job?
That's basically
That's
how it
basically
went.
how it went.
So the cliche dances, that's my least favorite part. What's your favorite? What's your favorite least favorite part
My favorite, least favorite part?
about weddings in general?
My least favorite part. Oh, God. I've been going back and forth between a few.
Okay. 2 might be close with 1. Well, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so one that really comes to mind. This is more geared towards my personality. The worst part about going to a wedding is the attire. Now,
I can relate.
there's a couple of layers to this. One, I am not exactly stuff that I'm like really, really passionate about, like this page, You Betcha stuff, all that stuff. I'm very on top of things. When it comes to things like making sure that your shirt is ironed for a wedding, or even that your shirt is clean for a wedding, that you like took it to the cleaner or whatever from the last wedding.
Or even that your RSVP is in.
Oh yeah,
Right?
and the RSVP, all of that stuff. Like, I am really bad at, and so the worst part about the wedding is like the night before or the morning of, even sometimes, because this is where I'm at in my life, is basically like, oh crap, is all the stuff I'm going to wear like clean?
Yeah.
Do I need to iron it? Oh my God.
Because even if it hung in the closet for 6 months, it's going to get wrinkly because
Yeah.
other clothes are catching on
you
it.
still
And it's
want to
like,
maybe run iron through
Yeah.
it. But it's like, oh man. And then, so that's the first layer is one, do I even have the stuff clean? Is it even ironed?
So-
Where is it sometimes? If it's been a long stretch since you went to a wedding, where are my shoes that I'm supposed to be wearing?
right. Because you wear them only for weddings.
Right.
So Miles, on top of that, I think you should really look into a steamer. An electric steamer.
Actually, so
Those are nice.
I hate doing laundry, but I kind of like ironing stuff.
Okay. Electric steamers are fun. It's like you iron
I've done it before. Yeah,
Oh, you
it's,
have?
it's
Okay.
nice. Yeah, it's not. I don't have one, but I've borrowed one.
Yep.
Now the second fold on it. The second fold is wearing the clothes.
Because you have
The
to be
tie,
comfortable in that.
The tie, the suit coat, especially so people who do it all the time, whatever.
Yeah.
I never wear one unless I'm at a wedding or a funeral.
Yep.
And so it's just like, even though like this is your how many times wearing a suit, you're still kind of like pulling at the collar a little.
Yep.
The tie is just like not where you want it to be. You try and tie your shoes and the suit coat's maybe a little tight in the back.
Yep.
Lifting up your arms doesn't go very well. All of it is the worst. When do you pop off your suit coat?
I was just going to say that the best part about having to dress up is being able to take off your suit coat or loosen your tie up or unbutton your undershirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Take the tie off and then unbutton a little bit.
Yeah.
I try and do that. So I actually, as soon as the dance starts and you're about 5 songs in, that's when I'll really, well, so as soon as I sit down for dinner, that suit coat's never going back on until I leave.
That's what I was going to answer that with. Yep.
But then the tie loosening and the unbuttoning of the shirt a little bit happens a little bit into the dance for me.
Do you set that trend throughout everyone there, or will you kind of see like one other guy
Wait
that's
for
got
another
his,
guy to do
yeah.
it? That's a really good question, Ryan. I don't like. I actually will go into panic mode a little bit if I'm not one of the first guys to do it, and I'm like,
Sure.
oh crap, I forgot that I was supposed to take my tie off.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, poof, rip that thing off.
Yep.
But I wouldn't say I'm nervous about being one of the first guys to do it.
Yeah. Nothing to be nervous
Yeah.
about. Someone's
So-
got to do it.
So what was your top 3?
So-
Least favorite?
So on top of that, I want to continue with,
Oh,
with your
okay.
number
All right,
one
yeah.
because this is something Meg has been very passionate about.
Oh, man.
She'll listen to the podcast, so she'll give me shit for this. Here was my theory. Let's just say like 3 to 4 years ago, I had this theory of I would dress according to how well I knew the bride and the groom. So if I barely knew them, I'll wear like maybe some
You
nice.
won't wear a suit coat. You'll just wear a
Correct.
tie.
Well, not even a tie.
Not even a
I'll
tie,
wear,
yes,
if
I like
if I
that.
barely know them, I'll wear just like a button-up shirt, maybe some nice jeans, or maybe some khakis with some dress shoes. If I know like one of them really well, then I'll wear a button-up tucked in with like black dress pants and nice like black shoes. If I know both of them really well, or obviously if I'm in the wedding, then that's the suit coat, the tie, the pants, the shoes, the whole shebang. And she could not have disagreed with me anymore.
You should just
on
wear a
that.
suit every time, right?
Yes, like you got to dress up for each and every
Meg,
one.
I have to have a word with you right now. You're wrong. And Ryan is right.
That was my theory.
And normally I love to disagree with Ryan, but I do agree with him on this one. And so, yeah.
That was
also,
my theory.
I think that the time of the year matters a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm more apt to wear a suit coat in the winter than I am in the summer.
Yep.
Which this whole thing is very funny because now I just started thinking about where are all of what do I need to
Yeah, I
do
was
to get
gonna
ready
say,
for the
Miles,
wedding?
are you ready for
I'm actually
Saturday?
kind of glad we did this, so I can be a little bit more prepped for this wedding.
Well, the RSVP is in. You're.
Well, I'm there. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
there. But
that
in
was
terms,
not done by you though. back to the
it
bit.
wasn't. Yeah, but so I think I'm gonna wear my suit pants and my button up, and that's it.
Yeah,
is
I like
that
it.
okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm not wearing a suit coat. It's too hot.
We put like on the invite, because it's at the lake, it's kind of by the beach. We said like
Business casual?
no, like beach casual, just like,
Oh, really?
You could even wear like khakis and a button up if you wanted to. It'll be a little bit chillier than normal, but
Yeah.
if you really wanted to.
Well, I'm gonna have to like take a look at the invite again
Because you didn't read the invite the
Yeah,
first time.
no, God, no.
You just knew you got, all you saw was the envelope that
You know what
said
you
from
do?
us, and
What
you're
you
like,
do
oh,
is
here's a wedding
you
invite.
get the invite, you take a look at the photo.
Yep.
You go, yours came with a photo, right? No, I don't think
No,
it
it
did.
didn't. No.
When you get one with a photo, you usually go like, yeah, well, that guy outkicked his coverage. And then you're like, oh, when do I have to RSVP by?
Yeah.
Let's say it's like 1 month before the wedding or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I got time. And then it's 2 weeks before the wedding, and you're like either texting them or trying to RSVP, like, hey, I'm still coming. I just forgot to
Yeah.
RSVP.
Or you look at the photo and just like, because everyone's got different engagement photos, so it's kind of interesting to see like what style of different people went. So you just look at the photo, throw it on the fridge, and then
Yep.
you don't read the text because it's all in calligraphy. And
Yeah.
you really have to look
No
at
one
it.
can read that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I like that.
Yeah. I'm excited for this weekend, Ryan. I think it's going to be a great time. And I want to congratulate you and Meg on your
you.
marriage. We're going to take one more break, and we'll finish out the podcast, Ryan. Oh my God, that's cold. That was gross. ASMR.
Yeah.
Guys, we're getting close to the end of the podcast, but we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about our recent collaboration. Today is Wednesday when this gets posted. We posted a video yesterday about the School of Ope, which I think is just a fun, kind of stupid. Sorry about that.
What was that?
A fun little play on being a Midwest person with Charlie Behrens. Charlie is a great guy. He is started, I think, as a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
And then he took one of his stand-up bits, and created the Manitowoc Minute.
Sure.
Where he pretends to report the news. And that kind of, I think, is how he got into doing video content and doing content on the internet. And he's built a following over how many years, and he does a lot of stand-up shows, and his audience is very based towards Wisconsin. That's kind of his bit. But it was fun to finally meet him. Oh, push burp.
Whoa.
Fun to finally meet him because I've seen his stuff for a while, and we probably each had, 5-6 people a month be like, hey, you should do something with this guy. So it was finally cool to meet up, do a video together. And another bush burp. They're just flowing now. They're probably stockpiled from earlier in the podcast.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's really cool to meet up with other people in the Midwest that are doing what we're doing because there's not that many of us.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of another person that specifically does stuff for the Midwest. Not really thinking of anyone.
Larry the Enticer. Is he Midwest?
I want to say he's like almost like Canadian.
That's what I'm thinking, but I'm sure I'm sure it dribbles down into.
Yeah, but he doesn't even create content on a regular basis. He more just does appearances and stuff now.
Okay.
I think, but yeah, so it was kind of fun to do that. Hopefully I have a couple other videos coming from that day, but
how long has Charlie Behrens done the Manitowoc Minute?
I don't know. I hope we're saying that right because it is a
Manitowoc
tough
Minute.
Manitowoc Minute.
See, because Making a Murderer is based in Manitowoc County.
Oh, there you go.
So I was curious because, did he hit the Manitowoc, like that buzz about that name?
I'm not sure. I have to maybe hit him up and see. But yeah, it's just he's doing a really good job with what he does. It's obviously a different bit and a different style than what I do. I know he does the super Midwest accent.
Yep.
And I tried to do it the other day, and it was like, yeah, it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, no, you just do that naturally because that's just how you talk because you're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
But
see, it's interesting how different people are being successful in their content with different personalities.
yes.
And there's probably a lot of overlap in your audience too.
Yeah, I would agree.
So you don't really change anything.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I change stuff is maybe for like the craft beer video.
Or like, you know,
Maybe
you're from the, like when someone finds out you're from the Midwest, like that person that you played was like smacking your gum right
my
away.
gum.
Yep. Wait, you say you're from the Midwest?
Yeah.
That's my favorite line.
The first one.
The first
video?
line.
Yeah.
I think you just
You say you're from the Midwest?
smacking the, yep.
Well, it's
Yep.
funny because I had a couple of friends that are like live in LA or around there, and they're like, why were you chewing gum? Why do you have AirPods in? I'm like, dude, that's how I picture you guys all of the time, is that you just chew gum. You never take your AirPods out, like even when you shower or go to sleep.
Yeah, Miles has Hollywood friends now. Friends from LA and the
It's like when I
West
said, it's like
Coast.
2 people that I know
Yeah.
from LA.
Yeah.
But
It's AirPod Central.
yeah,
It's
right.
just
It's gotta be.
technology central.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was. It's also fun to like get together with people that are doing what we're doing, because you just don't get to do that very often, and just talk about like, you know, what's some ridiculous stuff that you've seen either in the comments section or messages you've gotten,
Right.
and talk about stuff like that. But also like the creative energy is fun, because most of the time it's like me and Ann shooting the videos, and it's like you get kind of one perspective, but
Yep.
then you get another brain in the room, and then there's a whole nother spin on what you can do and how you can go about it. And so it was fun to be a part of that and do that. So hopefully it's not the end of collaborating with Charlie. Hopefully we can keep it rolling. So
You think you could, how do you think you'd fare in a stand-up bit?
well, he's talked to me about that, about
Yeah.
opening up for him. And it's fun.
Miles, the exercise scientist, the college football player turned stand-up comedian.
No. I've done a lot of thinking about it too, and I'm like, okay, I think it would be fun to try, but in no way, shape, or form am I like, I want to be a stand-up comedian.
So if you do stand-up, you're pretty much, and you do a podcast, you're pretty much Joe Rogan.
Well, I mean, I
Next you're gonna
got better hair than Joe Rogan, but
Right. And next you're going to have like a Netflix documentary of your stand-up.
yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But
Close, though.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's let the audience kind of decide if they think that that's something I should try out.
Do you think
And-
Miles could do a stand-up bit?
So,
I think you
so
could.
here's the issue with stand-up bits, with doing stand-up. It takes way too much calculated jokes.
Yep.
Where I excel in off-the-cuff, adjusting to the trends, really having an outline going in, and then see where the video takes it. Where stand-up, if you don't have a plan and you don't have written jokes
Yep.
before you go up there, you will bomb.
You will.
Yeah. And so that's where I'm like, I don't think I want to go down that road. Plus, I also like creating content and doing that side of it more than like writing jokes.
Right.
Why are you making that? Ryan's making a
trying
face
to,
right
no,
now.
I'm trying to picture you on stage, like pacing back and forth with a mic in your hand, doing stand-up.
And what do you think? What's it look like?
You know, I think the first time would be tough because you have to find your groove.
But the thing is like the first time is going to be opening up for someone. It's not going to be at like some random comedy club where no one knows you.
Right. Very true. So you kind of like bypassed the just open mic scene.
Okay. Let's calm down on there. I did not bypass anything because I have never done it.
We're just
And I haven't done it, so I haven't bypassed anything, Ryan. So let's pump the brakes on that.
I got so far ahead in that chain of
You don't want
events.
to be a stand-up comedian that bad.
Oh man, one of my favorite stand-up bits is I went to Jim Gaffigan a couple years ago. His Hot Pocket bit,
Hot Pocket.
that was the best. And to see it live too was even better.
That is cool. But see, the thing is, probably took like a year to perfect that joke.
Absolutely.
And I just don't want to do that. I don't think.
Nope. You don't have the time for that.
But speaking of perfecting things, Ryan, you know who's perfected wooden signs here in the Midwest?
Gina's.
Gina's Designs of the Heartland. They are located in Iowa, believe it or not, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
In the Heartland. They have awesome hand-painted, handcrafted pine signs, wood pine signs. They do everything by hand. We sell the Nectar of the Gods with our logo on it, with the mountains on it, on our website. And they also sell it on their Etsy store.
Yes.
Which is etsy.com/
It's HDOT Heartland. GDOT Heartland. So Gina's Designs of the Heartland. Yep. GDOT.
At Etsy. So go to their Etsy page. They have a bunch of stuff on there for sale along with our Nectar of the Gods signs. They go great in any decor, living room, kitchen, man cave, garage, or all of the above. So you need to go check out their stuff on their Etsy page, but also you can check them out on our page at oubetcha.com. I think that we kind of been thinking about doing some, maybe a little bit of switch up for fall colors.
Yep.
On the signs. So be looking for that. Maybe to match the hunting cans a little bit, which would be cool. But again, that's etsy.com/GDOT Heartland. And check out their Etsy page and they'll get you some handcrafted signs. Ryan, take us home.
Guys, thanks again for listening into episode 32 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. It's the Wedding Week podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed the bit of Miles and I's 3 least favorite things to do
It's
or
always
see.
funny doing the least favorite.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Our favorite, least favorite things. Yep. At a wedding dance, wedding ceremony, what have you, there's always that one thing that all of us dread doing. So, guys, thanks again for listening. Stay tuned in the next couple weeks for the new merch drop, the fall merch drop. And in the meantime, we're just going to keep pumping out good, funny videos
Next time that we're
about
doing
the
this,
Midwest.
Ryan, you'll be a married man. You'll have a ring on your finger.
I'll be a married man. Yes,
You're
sir.
going to be leaning a little bit further to the left as
I
you
will,
sit here.
and it's tungsten,
Oh,
so it's
not
a
to
little bit
brag.
heavier.
Not to brag.
Yeah, so that's that. But yes, guys, thanks again for listening in. I myself am Ryan the T-shirt guy,
And I am Miles the You Betcha guy. May your ranch always be runny. Your bush lattes forever be cold. Cheers, Ryan. Wait for it. Wow. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.